Rathalos and Rathian, two sides of the same coin. Rathalos the male Rath, Rathian the female. And in the ancient forest to the west of Astera, they nest together and attempt to keep their Rathlings alive together. Hello there everybody and welcome back to another episode of An Ecologist Plays, where we talk about nature while playing games. My name is Will, and as you can see we are back in Monster Hunter World. And well, we've got a little bit new armor. We've got our Zora Magdaros arm guards on there, and mostly the Rathalos armor, except for the Death Stench leggings that we basically are wearing. And that is to help us with today's mission. And that mission is redefining the power couple, which will see us taking on both a Rathalos and a Rathian at the same time. So grab something to drink, strap in, and let's dive into the ecology of these two amazing wyverns. And let's head on out, shall we? I am sure that this mission will be very, very challenging, and we have to keep an eye out for both of them because, well, where there is one, there can be the other. And that is because the Rathian and the Rathalos are co-parents. They will be taking care of the little Rathlings together, and that makes them incredibly dangerous. A Rathian, as mentioned in one of the previous videos, will be a little bit more ground-bound, whereas Rathalos, on the other hand, is a little bit more airborne. And that does mean that we, of course, need to watch the land and the sky, because danger can come from anywhere. Ah, there we go. There is, in fact, a Rathian scale. So Rathian has come through this area. Let's just move away from the Kestodon. We don't want to unnecessarily draw their attention, exactly as we have done there. Hopefully they will now leave us alone. Listen, I am not here to terrorize you. Not today, not today. Oh, here comes Rathian, in fact. Okay. So, maybe we should be taking on Rathian first. Hello, Rathian. There she goes again. I do believe there is an Anjanath coming past here. Yes, indeed. Hopefully Anjanath will just ignore us. Most likely won't. Or maybe it will. Alright. We're just going to carry on past. Okay, Rathian was definitely here again, but is no longer here. Instead, he has moved off once more. I think it is very likely that Rathian is looking for something to eat. I mean, he is perfectly adapted for life in the undergrowth here and would be feeding on anything she can get her jaws on. There she goes again. You know what? It seems like Rathian is a little bit too skittish. I think I will need to draw her out. And the way I'm going to do that is by traveling up to the nest. I suspect Rathalos will be over here somewhere. Now, naturally, with the co-parenting that Rathalos and Rathian do, when one is in danger or when one detects a threat near the nest, I'm sure that it will let the other one know that, listen, there is in fact danger here. And there we go, there is the Rathalos indeed. Hello, Rathalos. While on a separate expedition, we waited for the Rathalos at this known nest site. Now, it's likely that this species will breed in areas where they have bred before. Now, this is very similar to what we see with many large raptors on Earth, where they very often will have multiple nest sites scattered through the territory. So when it is time to breed, they simply go to one of these nest sites, they repair the nest if it is damaged, and then they use that nest for this year and possibly a few years to come. But eventually they will move on to another nest site, abandoning the old one, possibly to reduce the buildup of parasites in the nest, so they don't have their Rathlings covered with parasites. They move on to a nest they haven't used in a number of years. So here we waited for the Rath, and eventually he did appear, his massive body landing effortlessly. And I must say, I did find myself wondering whether this is due to his very strong flight muscles that power his flight. Now, this male is likely patrolling around the nest site, making sure that there are no predators looking for an easy meal with the eggs or the Rathlings, and possibly also looking out for other Raths, which may be eyeing this territory. Now, the heavy armor, the heavy scales on its back, will protect it against other predators and also other Raths. And it's very possible that this is the strongest male in the area and it holds this territory with this amazing nest site in it. Now, this male was scratching around the nest, either marking its territory, which is very likely, or scratching loose debris into a heap. And that osteoderm, that bony scale right there on its chin, will aid in this function. And they use it to actually gather plant material together to shape the nest, providing a suitable place for the eggs to be laid. The Rath is armed with ferocious teeth, each likely about 6 inches in length, although probably longer, and they are capable of slicing into prey unfortunate enough to be captured by the Rath. Now this male was also grooming itself, either removing parasites from its body or removing loose scales that would in both of these cases result in drag during flight, increasing the energy spent when flying. But despite its bulky shape, this male took off effortlessly from its nest again and set off to patrol its territory once more. Wow, what a sight. Oh, almost on fire, thankfully not. We are here to say hello to you and show you what we are made of. Of course, with Rathalos, very similar to the duckbill platypus, it does have venom in its talons, so I will need to try and stay clear of that. Ooh, almost grabbed me there. Most likely... Oh, fire. Okay, I thought it's swooping down on me with the talons again. I see, in fact, old Memphis, the Palico, is unfortunately a little bit poisoned. Ooh, that was a full blast there. And again, Memphis is poisoned. Shame. Let's just, blind you for a bit there. Let's try to get you on the ground, keep you on the ground. And now what we will try to do is try to actually use Savage Axe, because as you guys suggested, I have not actually gotten it. I've gotten... Ooh, that was a nice fire blast. Oh, it's enraged. It is indeed enraged. Okay. Haha. But... there we go. That is... the Savage Axe. Unfortunately, I am being picked up and being tossed around like a rag doll. This is not going well for me. But we do have that now. And there we go. Let's just, bring Savage Axe to bear. Cause a bit of chaos. And then just quickly dodge out of the way, because we need to take care of the poison that has been inflicted on us. Okay, Rathalos is actually heading off. Okay, that is good news. It allows us time to actually just recover. We have also whacked Rathalos' tail off. So that happened. Yo. I would say Rathalos is the muscle, but Rathian also pretty much the muscle. Both of them are in fact the muscle. Let's just, tag Rathalos so we can see where we need to go. Ah, this way apparently. I don't think Rathalos is going to stay there for long, but at least this is going to point us in the right direction. And as you can see there, I definitely need a bit more practice with the Savage Axe. And probably not the best idea to try and use it against the Rathalos that's enraged either. Hello Rathalos. Miss me? And there we go, finally. The Rath is down and we can use our Savage Axe on it a bit properly. There we go. Okay, I do believe there's also a boom bug cage, so that is extra bad for the Rathalos here. There we go, that is in fact the boom bug cage, I do believe. Extra damage to it. This is the great way for us to now weaken the Rathalos enough for us to actually do it. Oh, there we go, there's Rathian. Okay. Now, this is now a party. Now what we are going to do is now we are going to bring the dung pods to bear. Because we want to finish off Rathalos before we take on Rathian. So let's try and get Rathian away. Come on. Not happy yet? Okay. Are you departing? Okay, you are departing. Great stuff. Dippy. Oh, we killed Rathalos. That wasn't nice. Oh, the bloodlust took over. Oh, man. Okay, now I'm sad. I was like, why is Rathalos not moving? Okay. Hopefully it goes a little bit better with the Rathian and we don't actually take out the Rathian. But Rathalos, oh, a beautiful, beautiful wyvern. I'm really sad about this now, guys. Alright, I still wanted to talk about the Rathalos osteoderm in the front there. Basically, Osteo meaning bone, derm refers to the skin, so it's a skin bone, basically just a hardened scale, bone-like hardened scale, which the Rathalos uses to actually scrape things together to build the nest for the pair. And, well, we were at the nest at the top there, so let's actually head on over to the nest. So there we go, this then being the nest, and you can see there are lots and lots of sticks here, lots of bones, and also lots of tarry substances all over the place here. That would be due to the decomposition, I believe, of the organic matter here, of the carcasses, and that creates a nice flammable environment for the young ones to actually test their fire breath on, and also allows the parents to scare away smaller predators by lighting the tar. Could be used to scare away some smaller predators as well. Now, I'm not sure what's going to happen now. Now that the Rathalos is no longer here, does that mean now that the female will have to work doubly hard in order to actually secure the nest and make sure that no egg thieves actually come to the nest? Or does that mean now that another male will try to take over this territory and then will try to mate with the female? And if that is the case, is it now also going to be a case of infanticide, where the young rathlings that may have hatched over here actually get killed by the new male, like you have with lions? And lions are a top predator in the African savanna after all, and very territorial, very similar to raths. So does that mean now that when a new male takes over this territory, he is going to kill any existing rathlings? Or will he continue just caring for those young ones in the hope that when the time comes, the female is receptive to him and he will be able to reproduce? That's my question. We are going to try to go and find the Rathian. Not sure where she is. Somewhere to this side, I believe. I still don't know how on earth we make that fall without dying. How do we survive that fall? That's a big drop. I do believe the Rathian will be around here somewhere. Indeed, here she is. In the denser parts of the jungle, though, the female, known as the Rathian, is perfectly at home. Her green color is perfect camouflage, and she opts for a more terrestrial lifestyle. This female, the strongest of the females that mated with the male in this territory, has managed to secure her place in this territory. She is likely looking for prey, but has stopped at her favorite watering hole for a quick drink. While she is scooping water with her lower jaw, we catch a glimpse of her chin spike. Unlike the Rathalos' osteoderm, which is solid, this chin spike is hollow, and she uses it to push food, along with some venom, through when feeding rathlings. Having drunk her fill, she starts patrolling her territory again, and walks right past us. An amazing sight and feeling, and this ecologist felt humbled in the presence of the Queen of the Jungle. We followed her from a safe distance, of course, until she disappeared behind some trees. Truly amazing how quickly she blends in with the mottled greens of the jungle. It turns out she had not left, though, and was likely just marking her territory. Unfortunately for our hearts and pants, she then patrolled right past us, her eyes scanning for anything substantial to prey upon. Apparently, we were not large enough to warrant the energy expenditure, and she walked past us again, and then flew off to other parts of the jungle. Barely had she left, before heavy wing beats heralded the king's arrival. The Rathalos had also come for a drink. Taking a break from his patrols around the territory and thirsty after flying in the midday sun, the cool of the forest offers a pleasant reprieve. Having drunk his fill, he again set off to continue his patrols around the nest site. We decided to await the Rathian again, but were shocked to hear heavy footsteps approaching. An Anjanath! This one was also stopping for a drink and appeared oblivious to our presence. However, it appeared anxious, likely because this is an area frequented by the Rathian, and between these two predators, peace is not an option. And then, heavy wing beats, the Rathian was back, and she landed right next to us. I could almost reach out and touch the venomous barbs on her back, though that would be the last mistake I make. Those barbs are connected to a venom gland located in the tail of this majestic creature, and Rathian venom is not to be trifled with. Preferring to walk rather than fly, her toes are shaped perfectly for strolling through the jungle, and her strong hind limbs carry her effortlessly below the forest canopy. I am really very sorry about your partner. Really very sorry, Rathian. Obviously, she is not very happy about this. She now is a single mother has to take care of the offspring that may be in the area and has to defend the territory against other females that may try to come in. Again, being very territorial, you would expect only one Rathian in the area here, no other females coming into the area here. Oh, as we just happen to take a stab at it all. Now, I'm not sure whether it's a good idea to try and stab the back of the Rathian here right between those venomous quills, but apparently our hunter believes it is, in fact, a good idea to do exactly that. We have, however, brought her down, which allows us to also go into Savage Axe mode again. Hopefully this time around we don't actually kill the Wrath. Very powerful charges. Very, very powerful charges by the Rathian there. Very well developed hind limbs, of course, allowing her to do exactly that. Sprint off through the jungle. And then that venomous tail used to very good effect as she attacks Memphis, our Palico there. Will most likely do a bit of a tail swing again, very momentarily. No, maybe not. Off she goes. And there she is. Oh, what a beautiful wyvern. Coming in with her claws, trying to... Oh, there we go, trying to get us poisoned. There goes the tail again. Oh, there's an Anjanath. Okay. What does this mean? There's a turf war coming? I do believe so. You know, I was always scared of the Anjanath in the ancient forest. Anjanath is not the one we should be terrified of. There are far more dangerous things in this world than Anjanath. Rathian, however, is still very much focused on us. But no, never mind. Scrap that. Anjanath has just taken the brunt of an attack there. Oh, and Anjanath now also will most likely have venom in it, coursing through its veins as the two top predators here. Oh, that's brilliant. As two of the biggest predators in the ancient forest are both duking it out with one another and trying to get to us. Both of them are fire breathing, so the fire here is not really going to have much of an impact on each other. However, the venom that the Rathian has will weaken the Anjanath. So I think between these two, Anjanath may be at a disadvantage. The only thing that has most likely, at the moment at least, ensured that it is still alive is the fact that we have already weakened the Rathian here. But top predators very often will not stand one another, in real life as well as here in Monster Hunter. As you can imagine, these two are competing for the same resources. And that's not great for them, and they really don't want to share resources. Each species has its own niche or role in the environment. If the niches of two species overlap, it is still possible for them to coexist, provided the overlap is not too great, and some form of niche differentiation or partitioning is present. If Rathian and Anjanath had exactly the same niche, coexistence would be almost impossible, and one species, likely the Rathian, will outcompete the other, the Anjanath in this case. If, however, the degree of overlap is not too great, that means there is some niche partitioning present, the two species can coexist in the area, though, as was the case here, that does not mean that kerfuffles are not going to take place. And that is Gauss's principle of competitive exclusion, and I'm sure a lot of you have heard of that as well. But, you know, for that to really be the case, the two species have to have very, very similar niches or roles in the environment. And I think Rathian and Anjanath had sufficiently different niches for them to still coexist. Because yes, both of them are running around on the ground here, Rathian as well, as you can see there. But Rathian is still a little bit more airborne than Anjanath is. I mean, Anjanath isn't airborne unless it does a jumpy bit. But even then, it really isn't very airborne. But Rathian can still fly, and fly quite well. It's not her main way of catching prey, but she can fly and she can come down, swooping down on smaller, unsuspecting prey. Additionally, the way in which they hunt is also very different. Anjanath tries to use brute force to actually catch their prey, and will breathe fire upon it. The Rathian here, on the other hand, well, it will, and oh man, I was really trying to not break the tail there. It will use venom to try and subdue its prey. I think Rathian, yeah, the Rathian is now also injured. We are not going to kill her. We are going to now catch her. So there is quite a bit of niche differentiation there between Anjanath and Rathian. So I don't think they really would be outcompeting one another, even though both are technically very terrestrial. Now I suspect the Rathian will be coming to her nest over here. So we are going to be waiting for her with our ghillie suit equipped. And yes, here she comes in. Coming in for a landing. What a beautiful creature. I am still so sorry about your mate. Now what I'm hoping is that when we capture her now, because there are wyvern eggs here, so I'm hoping that we just kind of patch her up, wait for the researchers to do whatever they want to do, or need to do, and then, once they have patched her up, and once they have done what they need to do, they relocate or they bring her back to the nest area here. And in the meantime, just keep those wyvern eggs safe. It's difficult. I mean, what do you do in real life if this is the case? I mean, if you need to go into an area, dangerous area, you need to capture something before you go in there, something goes wrong, there's a female Rathian in this case left without a partner to defend the nest. There are eggs, there are potentially babies, and now you need to take this parent away. I feel very sad about that Rathalos. At least we did capture the Rathian, so there is still hope babies can survive. Now, speaking of Rathians, I do believe that we have found out enough about the pink Rathian to actually come and chat to the ecological research people here. Yes, indeed, we are getting closer to figuring out what that mystery monster is. Okay, you want a favor from me, okay? Oh, a powerful Anjanath spotted in the Wildspire Waste. And we need to go investigate. Okay. Alright, so an Anjanath in the Wildspire Waste. You know, for some reason, that actually makes perfect sense to me. That is really where I would expect Anjanath. Anjanath, big, carnivorous, almost a Tyrannosaurus-like creature. I don't think it is well suited to the forest environment. The open plains of the Wildspire Waste. Now that is a different story. So there we go. Tickled Pink is going to be our next mission, and that will be in the Wildspire Waste. But that will have to wait for next time, everybody. Because, well, this is where we are going to end today's episode, everybody. A bit of a shorter one, as we are doing these days. Hope you enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun, and I'm still sad about that Rathalos. But if you've got any questions or comments, please drop it down in the comments below. And, of course, let me know what you would like to see me do next after I have done Tickled Pink. And then we'll go and have a look at some higher level creatures again. Until next time, everybody, stay safe. I'll see you all soon. Cheers.